Hello dear fashion designers, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for tuning again. So in today's video, I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this beautiful Bubu dress. It's made with two fabric, that's the plain Mikado and the sequins material. For this tutorial, I'll be using a velvet sequins. It comes in different form, but today I'll be making use of the velvet sequins. So first, I'm going to go ahead to fold my fabric into four, just like this. And for this Bubu, I'm not going to be cutting the shoulder, so I'll just leave it just like this. And then the first thing I'm going to do is to measure my neckline, and for my neckline width, I'm going to make use of 3.5 inches. Afterwards, I'm going to mark 8 inches for my shoulder. Next, I'll mark 12 inches for my sleeve plus sewing allowance. Okay, I know you can't see it directly, but I'm going to take that again. So neckline 3.5 inches, 8 inches for shoulder, and then 12 inches plus sewing allowance for my sleeve. You can choose to go for 13 inches if you want to. Okay, so after that, I'm going to go ahead to mark the sleeve circumference, which I'll be making use of 11 inches for that. Next, I'm going to take my bust measurement, which is 12 inches. I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance and then 5 inches for the Bubu allowance. Okay, I'll still go ahead to reduce 1 inch because it's close to my sleeve. I also want you to take note that the arm area, I made it slant and not straight. So while you're making your sleeve, make it slant and not straight. All right, you can reduce 1.5 inches from the main one. I'll take that measurement and then I'll mark it down straight down to the hem of my gown, just like this. And I'll connect everything together. So for my neckline depth, I'll be making use of 1 inch, and I'll just connect it together just like this. Okay, so that's going to be for the back. Next, I'm going to measure the length of my gown, and I'm measuring 56 inches for my gown length plus sewing allowance. You can choose to use 2 inches for your sewing allowance or 1.5. So after that is done, I'm just going to go ahead to cut it out just like this. So I'll go ahead to cut out the neckline, and then next I'm going to make my notches. It is very important that you cut out notches while doing this type of Bubu, especially when you are not cutting out the shoulder. All right, so I'll take notches at the sleeve area also, and I'll go down here, and also I'll be taking my notch. This is going to make me to identify the center part of everything while I open it up. So I'll just go ahead to open it up now so that I can draft the front neckline. The neckline I did initially was for the back. For the front is going to be much more deeper. All right, so make sure that you separate it while you want to draft the front neckline. So I'll just open it up just like this, and I'll use my office pin to secure my notches together so that there will not be any movement while I'm trying to cut my fabric or I'm trying to mark the fabric. So next, for my neckline depth for the front panel, I'm going to measure 3.5 inches and then 7 inches just like this. So it's going to have round neckline and a slit in front. You can choose to put the slit at the back, but for this one I'm going to be cutting the slit in front, so this way you'll be able to put in your head, or the gown will be able to go through your head. So because of it, I couldn't capture it earlier, I'm going to take that again. From the notch there, which is the center of the gown, I'm going to mark 3.5 inches and then 7 inches for my slit. I don't want it to be too deep. You can as well go down by 8 inches if you want. So that's it on how we achieve that. Next, I'm going to get my sequins fabric just like this, and I'm going to fold it into 2. Now here I have half yard of sequins fabric. In case you want to know how many yards that is, that's half yard. So I'm going to place my Mikado fabric on it like this, and then take the length about 18-19 inches. It's okay for the length. So I'll go ahead to use my office pin to secure the Mikado and the sequence fabric together just like this. Next, for the width, I'll mark 9 inches for the width, and then I'm going to just go ahead to make the shape on it. That's about 4 inches for the back, also on the shoulder area, and then I'll mark about 7 inches at the lower part, and then I'll just join it together to the shoulder just like this. So this way we've gotten the shape of the sequence that we're using at the front of the Mikado. After pinning it down, I'm just going to go ahead to cut it out, trace it out just like this. Okay, and then this is what we have. Next, on the sequence fabric, I'm going to add in some stay. You can choose to use air stay or a soft paper stay. I'll do the same thing also on the Mikado fabric just like this. This is going to help the neck to stand well while I'm sewing. So I'll just go ahead to use my pin to pin it down so as to have the perfect thing. Now you can see that the right side of my sequence fabric is facing the wrong side of my Mikado. Please take note that I infused the interfacing on the right side of the fabric, not on the wrong side of the fabric, because you don't want it showing at the back. Okay, since the sequence is going to be coming in front, it's going to cover it up. So the right side of the sequence is facing the wrong side of the Mikado. So just pin it down just like this, and then you can just go ahead to sew it by half an inch. So I have done just that here, and I've gone ahead to take my notches. You can choose to trim closely to the stitches if you want that. You can see that it's sitting well because of we added interfacing to it, so it's very important. Next, you just go ahead to give it a good press, and this is what you're going to have. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead to fold the inside, the edges by half inch or quarter an inch. But before I do that, I'll make sure that I've used my office pin to secure everything down so that there will not be movement while I'm sewing. It is very important you do that, and so that you have a clear view of how you want to sew it and how it's going to be looking, so that there will not be bulges while you are sewing. So that's the final look after sewing. Next, we are going to go for the sleeve. I just cut out these two pieces about 3 inches in the width, and then I'm going to be adding interfacing to it so as to use it as a turn up. Now you can see from the image it has also sequence at the hem of the sleeve. All right, I'm going to just use my office pin to secure it together. Remember that I made notches. This is very important that you make notches at the sleeve area also, so as to identify the center of your sleeve. So after I've done that, I'll just go ahead to sew it down like this. Just watch how I'm doing it. Okay, I'll just turn it up. You can choose to top stitch if you want to, but I didn't do that here. I just used my office pin to secure it down just like this, and then I went ahead to sew it down. You can make use of quarter an inch or half inches if you want to. So I made use of quarter an inch, all right, because that's the sewing allowance I gave it while I was cutting. So that's it for that sleeve. I'm going to go ahead, to take out the pins that I have on it, and then I'll do the second sleeve. You can see that it's looking so beautiful. So I'll take out my second panel for the sleeve, and then I'm going to sew it just like this. Please remember my sequence is facing the wrong side of the Mikado, okay, so that it's going to come out at the right side just like this. It's very important to do it this way. So this is what we have at the end of the day. I'm just going to go ahead to join the sides together. For the sides, I will go ahead to also overlock it, and then I'll join it together. I'll do the same thing for the hem. I'll overlock it, and we have our beautiful bubu. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.